as I say every Monday morning, 'tis a vibe. Welcome back, nerds, to another exciting episode of Nerdy Coffee. Is it? I mean, yeah, it's exciting. Is it exciting? I'm not sure if it's exciting. You know what it is? It's because it's Monday. So I'm like, is it exciting because the show's happening? But is that offset from the lack of excitement from Monday? I'm not quite sure. You know what? This is like a support group. This is an emotional support group for Mondays. So glad to see all of you. We have, we got some topics. And I feel like the number one topic of the week is like all around box office. Box office king is king these days. And we're going to talk about it. There's also some other things that came up last week we did not get a chance to talk about, so we'll talk about it this week. But before we do all that, welcome all of you to Nerdy Coffee, your Monday morning show where we sit back, relax, enjoy a nice cup of brew, courtesy of nerdaffiliated.com, and talk about last week's nerd news, box office, shows that we watched, upcoming shows, all that fun stuff. Like I said, there's a lot to talk about. A lot of things happened previously we didn't talk about, so we'll address all those. But before I even get into all that, I gotta hit that nice. Ooh, that first sip of coffee just always feels so good. Before we continue, let's say hi to everybody in the chat. The Rambling Nerd, Senor Anthony, who I'm drinking from his mug today. No pun intended there. Good to see you. My coffee is as hot as my opinions on Mando last week. Anyone else irritated by the episode? We'll talk about that for sure. Sal in the house. Good to see you. And Yukon Phil in the house. Good to see you, brother. All right. So I've said before probably 9 times already this morning. I'm sorry. I'm still waking up. But if you have a YouTube channel, a podcast, a blog, a vlog, an OnlyFans, a newsletter, smoke signals, put it in the chat. Support one another. Plug yo shit. Now, I want to dive straight in to, I guess this is gonna, I'm debating for all of you who watch, week over week. I'm debating the format of the show, like as far as the topics go, like what to label everything. And I'm gonna say we're gonna start off with box office. Oh wait, hang on. I'm getting messages, and I'm not sure. Let's see. I don't think we have a breaking news, but we'll see. All right, I sent that out. I was getting distracted. You guys are distracting me. I need a show producer. That's what I need. I need somebody to run the show. Submit your applications. Press PRESS at nerdaffiliated.com. So, oh, wow. I'd be damned. I think we have a guest. Oh, wow. We actually do have a guest coming in. Holy shit. I didn't know what he was talking about. I thought he was kidding for a second. Don't worry. You're on mute. Once you sit down, I'll unmute you. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have hashtag return. I moved my buttons around. Sorry. There it is. We have hashtag return of the king. Sal's in the house. Holy shit.
I am back.
Wow. That's a surprise right there. Holy shit.
I thought we discussed it. I thought we
did?
knew I was coming back today. That's cool though.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we did. Holy shit. I completely forgot that was today. Time flies.
My left. All right.
I'll move all these out of your way. You know what? I'll put him in the center. I'll do that.
Yeah, we could do that.
Dude, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. 5 weeks post-op.
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty solid.
God, it was 5
Doctors
weeks
are
already?
happy with it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Doctors are pretty happy with it. So
did they
we're
put in
good.
the arc reactor as we requested?
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna get a tattoo of an arc reactor to cover the giant scar I have on my chest.
Oh, that's metal. I endorse that. I endorse that for sure. But yeah, dude, it's everybody's happy in the chat. Look at that.
Yeah. Thank you for all the support.
Yeah.
Man, I love you guys. I need you people. I love you people. Thank you, Phil. Oh, been super supportive since he found out I was sick.
Yeah, for sure. Wait, so are you able to even drink coffee? Is that too?
I'm on decaf tea right now.
Wow.
Decaf mixed berry tea with honey in it.
That's amazing. No,
If I have a regular cup of coffee, it makes my heart go bananas.
Yeah, I bet. That's why I'm like, are you allowed to be drinking the coffee?
So that's going to be a few months of decaf tea.
Yeah. Oh, all right, that works. Yeah, moving all these. There you go. I'm making the adjustments just for you, sir.
Thank you.
On the fly. Yeah, pleasant surprise. Let me jump over to another screen real quick, and we'll talk about, we'll get to Mando for sure, but I didn't even get a chance to set it all up. Let's see here. Got to go, boom.
I threw some,
boom.
I hope I didn't blindside you. I threw some notes up real quick, like 20 minutes ago, but it's all stuff that I want to talk about. So.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, I'm on the wrong camera. Yeah, I'm tripping. You got me thrown off. There you go. So that's you.
Yeah.
And then over here, I got to add you over and then jump back here. Bam. There we go. But you know what? Let's get another look at that mug. Look at that.
Yeah. My complexion looks better.
Yeah.
I'm not as flushed.
I love that. And rocking some cool merch on the. There you go. Nice mug. Nice hoodie.
You can't wear your own jersey out. So you got to rep everybody else.
Oh, by the way, good morning, Mulatto. Good to see you.
Hey, Vanguard. What's up, man?
I argue against the you can't wear your own jersey thing, because the way I figure it, at a certain point, if you are getting paid off that merch, why wear somebody else's stuff that you're not getting paid to wear?
True. But this is a sick design.
That is a sick design. Yeah. I will always wear the merch of my friends, as we both are.
Yeah.
So like I said, you threw me off. You threw me off my my swag today, but we'll get back. I
thought you knew. You started the show, and I was like, "Hey, quit fucking around and let me in." I was knocking on your front door or something.
You said, I remember in the group chat we mentioned it. We mentioned that you'd be back on a specific show, and I think I was waiting for you to like confirm that you were feeling good enough to jump back on the show. So that's why I didn't write it down. I was like, oh, he'll tell me when he's good to come on.
Well, I was part of a special event. I mean, we'll get to it when we get to the releases and stuff, but I was part of a special event this weekend, and that's why I wanted this to be my comeback show.
Oh, so that move. Okay. All right. I didn't realize that. So we're going to, hang on. Let me make sure this is even on the list. Did it even make the list?
Yeah, I added it just before I came on.
Oh, no,
but
sorry.
I put it in the news.
Not your, because it's not released yet. I was like, I didn't see it on the box office recap. So we're going to roll into that actually. So
sure.
Leading off with, see, I messed up.
Box office recap.
So leading off, we have last week's releases, and the big question was going to be Shazam.
Yeah.
Shazam was the big one that came out on Thursday night for most, but Friday for the rest of us. It did achieve first place, but it is being dragged through the mud at only pulling in $30 million with, you can say, questionable competition. because kids probably weren't being dragged to see Scream, Creed, or 65.
Yeah. So if you're a parent and you're trying to take like, your 8 to 12-year-olds out for a weekend, what are you taking them to see?
Right, right. But I mean, hey, let's let's keep it 100 for a second. Do kids even know what Shazam is? Like, outside of the last movie, have we seen Shazam in anything since then?
Not really. Not really. They I mean, they use Shazam in a lot of crossover stuff, but they haven't really, and that's in the comics. Like live action, they haven't used Shazam at all.
Yeah. No, and that's I didn't think about it till just now. I was like, leading into this movie, at a certain I think what DC forgets is that they have to play by different rules than Marvel. Like Marvel, even though it's, we're pretty much starting to run that well dry, at a certain point when Marvel is the production company, when Marvel pops up on the screen or on the commercial, parents know, oh, that's probably another Spider-Man or something, even if they know nothing. They're like, oh, I can, I'll take my kid to that movie because I kind of know what to expect. It's a Marvel movie. Even
I
though
think the word you're looking for is safe.
safe, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But when DC pops up, people are like, what is that again? They see
Yeah.
Shazam, they're like, oh, is that Superman? Oh, that's not really Superman. Whatever, I'll see it later.
Well, when I think of DC, the thing that popped into my head is that Wonder Woman,
Oh
uh,
God.
Batman v Superman. That same song that they use in every one of Zack Snyder's Batman Superman movies.
Yeah,
And it's like, okay, so this is going to be pretty violent, and maybe my kids shouldn't sit through this.
yeah, yeah. And it's questionable. Like you said, it's
Yeah,
absolutely questionable. But I mean, every movie always. I'm sorry if the mouse is all over the place. I'm like moving my window so I could see. Uh,
can't really
like
tell. It's white on white.
there you go. Like every single movie, it's gonna not bomb, but it's gonna nosedive going into week 2. There's been few exceptions in this world, but it's definitely gonna, dive down. Something else I do wanna to shout out, Creed, crossing
Yeah,
224 million worldwide. I still think that this, don't get me wrong, 224 is a shit ton of money. I'm not scoffing at that. And the reason I'm bringing this up is that it came up on For Those Good Tastes. I was over there with Lenny. We were talking about Creed, and I want to make sure there's no confusion. I did not think the movie was going to suck. I did not say that I was hoping the movie would suck. Nothing of the sort. What I was saying when I was kind of trashing the movie was the movie is not strong enough to perform how I think it should perform, considering there was like no competition, proving more
yeah,
so that the theaters are dead, not that like the movie's dead. So pulling in 127 million is a lot of money, but if the movie theaters were truly coming back, considering your only competition last week was Scream, which don't get me wrong, popular franchise, but nobody would assume that Scream would give you a run for your money if everybody was going to the theaters on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday like they used to.
yeah. And it screams six too. This is not like,
Yeah,
this is not new property. This is not something that, oh, hey, maybe we can get excited to see something
right.
really great in theaters. It's a slasher.
Yeah. And then let's look over, just check on Ant-Man here. Crossed 462 million worldwide, 205 domestic. Creed's actually creeping up on it. Creed was,
Fast,
yeah,
very
Creed's
fast.
probably going to pass it on the domestic for sure.
Creed's only out on what is it, 2 weekends?
Hmm. Yeah.
And I don't even think the numbers, they don't usually have Sunday night's numbers by Monday morning.
Oh, there you go.
So, I mean, Ant-Man, like, that's the thing with Marvel. A $500 million movie from Marvel is like, eh,
Yeah.
they don't, doesn't register the same as a regular movie.
Yeah. No, yeah, because like 500 million. If a smaller movie like Creed, which is kind of weird to say that's a smaller movie, but when we're scaling things, $500 million to Creed is way different than $500 million to Disney Marvel. They got too many hands in the pot on that one. And then, of course, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. So we have right now 65 worldwide. So that's an L.
Wow. Yeah,
That's an L.
that's rough.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a lot of things against them. You don't know where it sits. You don't know if it's
Mm-hmm.
sticking around.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if James Gunn said that series is going to hang out, but in terms of timeline, you don't even know where it belongs.
I mean, they spoiled something about the ending in the commercials, which was the dumbest thing they could have done. And I think because that part of the movie's still in it, I would assume they're going to continue. But then again, that character they showed is not continuing. So I don't know.
You did a hell of a job trying not to spoil that without, well, like borderline spoiling it.
We are?
No, we're not going to. But
Oh.
I mean, you were like treading the line over there.
Oh, of course I was treading the line. Because I'll honestly, I think if anybody really cared that much and didn't want spoilers, they've already seen the movie. Because you definitely didn't have any competition as far as other things to see.
Yeah.
So, Noya Craft says, I definitely don't think theaters are coming back, but people will get up and go outside to watch what they want to before waiting for the stream option, mainly because other people are talking about.
That's actually a great point that I'm going to make later when I get to my event from the weekend.
Yeah. So actually, why don't
I'm going to touch back on you, Patty.
I was going to say, why don't we jump back into that? Because I realized it's not on the box office numbers because it's not out for release yet. But
Yeah, it was a limited release.
yeah, so you got a preview / you got to go actually see the whole movie. Why don't you tell us about it?
So this weekend, Amazon Prime put out a pre-release of Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Amongst Thieves, and you could only get it with an Amazon Prime subscription. It wasn't like super advertised. I kind of found it on accident, and I liked the movie. I'll get into that later. I'll do a whole review for it. But what really surprised me is that the theater was packed.
Really?
And yeah, the limited release was it was a 2 o'clock showing. They only had one in my area. The next closest one was like a 45-minute drive. And then the next closest one was like another 40-minute drive from there.
Mm-hmm.
So this wasn't like a very widespread thing. But the theater I was in was packed.
Wow. I did not expect that.
No, me either. I was expecting to walk in, and since the advertising wasn't all that great, I thought it was going to be like, all right, hey, it's me and, I don't know, a dozen other people.
Yep.
But every seat was taken.
Interesting. All right.
It was good too. It was like, let's be real. It's probably what everybody would have expected. It's like a fun kind of heist movie.
Mm-hmm.
Probably geared more towards like early teenagers,
Mm-hmm.
not really adults, but Chris Pine was awesome. Michelle Rodriguez was awesome. I can't stand Hugh Grant, but but it was good. If you want something fun to watch, I recommend it.
It's funny. I don't think anybody has said Chris Pine's awesome in a long time, and it's not even like it's his fault. Like he just gets attached to these movies where you're like, oh yeah, this should be fun. This should be great. Oh God, this movie sucks, and he's just along for the ride, and that sucks.
He was doing rom-coms until Star Trek.
Yeah.
And then he got onto Star Trek. He got onto Jack Ryan, which wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
Not the best, but entertaining. And then he kind of like fell off real hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the Wonder Woman stuff wasn't all that great.
No. He did that movie with the singer guy where people debate whether the singer spit on him while the premiere was happening. It was like some shitty rom-com movie.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's fine. Literally, the spit is the only part people remember of that in movie even releasing. So you're fine.
And well, to save a little integrity about Dungeons and Dragons, it was a full price ticket, so that was sponsored entirely by Nerd Affiliated. So my review cannot be bought.
There you go. I'm happy to hear that. Cool. So let's quickly go on to, because we are flying through time here. We're
Yeah.
gonna go over last week's releases. I got to figure out the videos here, but just to run down the list, and then we'll get to the one that we all know we want to talk about. So last week we had another stinker from Bad Batch, episode 13. I don't know what the hell that was about. We also had Picard episode 4, which everybody seems to be liking. We had, sadly, no Last of Us because that's gone. So that's
sad
sadly
Sunday.
removed. Yeah. The highlight, I would say, of my weekly watching, the season finale of Poker Face. While not the strongest episode of the season, it was still pretty good. And I'm excited for hopefully another season of that. So if you guys have not watched Poker Face, it's on Peacock. Give it a shot. But the one we want to talk about, Mando. Mando.
Oh,
Mando. Mando.
oh, Mando.
Where do you want to start?
I mean, the dogfight in the beginning was dope as hell,
Yep.
and I was really okay with that. So we got like 10 minutes of a really cool dogfight
Yep.
with some exposition, and then
Oh, wait. Can we,
turn.
just because Patrick said he hasn't seen it yet, let's keep
Oh,
it spoiler light. So, like, saying there's a
yes,
dogfight
doesn't mean
against
shit.
Imperials doesn't mean shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But it turned into a filler episode,
yeah.
and I think that, and I'm gonna stick with our theory, with my theory with Anthony, that they screwed up with episode 5 and 6 of Book of Boba Fett,
Yeah.
and now they're cutting corners to try to make up for it because they
Yep.
lost 2 episodes.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
essentially lost episode 1 and 2, where episode 3 could have been episode 1 of this season.
Yes.
And I think now they were trying to fill gaps.
Yeah. And just to keep, like I said, we'll keep it spoiler light because it's Patrick. That's your fault.
Yeah,
But
that's on you, buddy.
that's on you. But the episode, it's mainly about the guy who was cloning Grogu in the first like episode of The Mandalorian, or second episode, like
Yeah,
that the
Dr.
nerdy
Pershing.
guy. Yeah. It's really about him the entire episode, him on Coruscant, and people on TikTok, because that's where I get the most, we'll say, communication with viewers sometimes. People on TikTok were like, "Oh, you obviously you didn't like it. You probably didn't like Andor." But then this one guy's like, "Well, you probably didn't even understand Andor." And I'm like, "Listen,
I didn't like Andor either. Andor wasn't good.
yeah." I'm like, you're telling this to people, and you and myself, that like Rogue One. Like Rogue One is a good movie, or do you not like Rogue One?
I love Rogue One.
Okay,
Rogue One's the best Star Wars movie to come out in the last 20 years.
all right, just making sure. I wasn't sure if I was speaking out of turn. I was pretty sure I knew, but I want to make sure. But I'm like, you're saying this to people who have Rogue One in their top 3 Star Wars list, that they don't understand Andor and don't like dialogue and good like political type stuff in Star Wars.
Yeah.
No, they're just boring episodes. Like, it's boring. It's dumb. And I mean, it's obvious at this point that they're trying to do a Clone Wars where we're gonna show how all this stuff began that led to like the cloning stuff that leads to Palpatine coming back. Like, we
Yeah.
know that's where you're going with it, but it's like we don't. This is one of those fillers that we don't need. We don't need that backstory. Nobody cares.
I don't see. I disagree with you just a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't need it in my Mando.
Oh,
I
there you
would
go.
watch an entire series of an intergalactic project paperclip.
Yeah.
I would watch all that stuff where it's all the political fallout from all the scientists and everything else that's happening behind
Mhm.
behind with the Empire and the changing of the New Republic. If that was its own dedicated show.
Yeah.
And you could even do it something along the lines of you could do like these spy thriller shows that they have,
Mhm.
kind of like a Jack Ryan, or like a Homeland or something, but with the fall of the Empire. And I would totally be committed to it.
Yeah.
but I don't need that episode in my Mando.
Yeah, I like that. Actually, that's very well said. So,
Thank you.
do you think there's merit to the whole, like, there's that rumor that we saw about Jon Favreau and beefing with Kathleen Kennedy. Do you believe that that's probably what's happening, where he's like, listen, you bringing back Grogu and you making me do this bathe in the waters or whatever, I'm sick of this shit. I'm just going to rush it out and get to stories I want to tell? Or do you think that's not true and this is actually what they kind of planned all along?
I can't tell because of what happened with Book of Boba Fett. So like with those two episodes being misplaced,
Yeah.
I mean, Grogu coming back so soon is a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Maybe him coming back at all this season is a huge mistake, and that
Yeah.
should have been saved probably for season 4.
Yep.
But I don't know who's fault. Like I don't know who's at fault. Like
Yeah.
I really can't tell.
Yeah. It's just a machine. At this point, I'm like, the one thing I hated about that video we saw, there was a video that went around telling, it was a rumor like, oh, according to this person, according to that person, that Jon Favreau is mad that Kathleen Kennedy and all of them are meddling too much in Book of Mando.
Yeah, right.
In The Mandalorian, and he's kind of fed up, and he's like, you know what, you guys do what you want. I'm gonna go work on Ahsoka. Like, I don't even know if that kind of lateral movement is possible. Like, if you tell the head of the production, hey, you know, F you, I want to go do something else. I don't know if you could just jump on another project like that. So that's where I'm also like, I don't know how true that is.
That was like the rumor going around that James Gunn was selling off properties to Netflix. It's like,
Yeah.
James Gunn doesn't have that kind of authority to sell off anything
Yeah.
to anyone. He's a story writer. That's it.
Yeah.
He's a storyteller. Let him tell, that's why DC hired him.
Yeah. DC could sell property, but it's not him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But Jon Favreau, I mean, this is not his first problem with Marvel Disney.
No.
The same thing, almost the same exact thing happened with Iron Man.
Yep.
And I think he gets the Mandalorian contract as like, hey, we've made billions upon billions of dollars on your back.
Yeah.
And we want to apologize, sort of. Here's the keys. You and Dave. Here's the keys to Disney, to Marvel. Sorry, to Star Wars.
Yep.
But then now, 2 seasons in, and it's the same thing that happened with Iron Man.
Yeah.
They meddle a little bit. They meddle a little bit more. Then you get Iron Man 3, and he's like, you know what, guys? I'm going to take a walk. I don't need your money.
Yeah.
I feel like it's starting to get there again.
Yeah. Well, speaking of meddling, and we'll go a little over today, everybody. We'll go an extra 15. Speaking of meddling, somebody that you guys all like, I think he's okay. He's not my greatest, Superman ever, but you guys like him. We're gonna hit on nerd news real quick. But a one Henry Cavill allegedly was a problem on set to production because he's too much of a fanboy. What do you think about all this?
Those are the kind of problems I want in this world. This has been going around a really long time. He's a huge fan of the Witcher books, and they're trying to make changes. And he's the guy's like, excuse me, he's the nerd. It's like, yeah, I'm sorry, that doesn't work because if you change that, then we have to change this.
Yeah,
and that's not in the character. Like that's not baseline for the character. Like, shut the fuck up, Henry. Get in there. You do your acting. We'll run the cameras.
Yeah, I love it.
So I do love it. That's the kind of. I mean, I would rather him be in production. I want him to be in front.
But here's what made that story even more interesting to me. And I know that you and everybody in the chat will be familiar with this person, but maybe not familiar with the person. Michael Rosenbaum, he has his podcast. Actually, I've been sharing it with you guys in the group chat, Inside of You. And in case any of you don't know the name, Michael Rosenbaum was Lex Luthor on Smallville. Also, little known fact, because I only found this out like 5 years ago. He was the voice of the Flash in Justice League.
Oh wow.
And yeah, like like it was just one of those things that like I just never knew. So he has his podcast. He always has on celebrities. Amazing podcast. I love it. I've been on this binge of it. And he had on why is the name now escaping me? Riker from Star Trek. Jonathan
Frakes.
Jonathan Frakes, yeah. So he had him on and he was saying
great episode.
Yeah, they go over, what is it like directing your friends, or what is it like directing people who like know the source material, that kind of thing. And he was saying there's a fine line in terms of like at a certain point you do have to respect the fact that like the story writers, they spent months on like the storyline. Yeah. And you kind of got to like almost like trust them. But I'm like, but sometimes I feel like you got to move that goalpost, because some of these stories that we're getting, you could be like, hey, listen, all due respect, you guys just don't know. You don't know how this character works, or even more so as a fan, you don't know what it is that we're looking for.
Yeah. You might be better off like going in. You hear from a lot of actors. They go into a lot of these big properties and they don't know anything. And they're given a stack of comics, or they're given a stack of, DVDs or movies to go watch.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, here's your research homework.
Yeah, exactly. Just like when Bernthal got the comics from the dude in Brooklyn, the Punisher.
Yeah.
He's like, here.
So that's such a great story.
Yeah, these are the essential. But I don't know how I would feel. Like, I mean, if I was, because that's the other part too. They, even on that episode, they talk about the creative team, right? Like creative team, that's separate from story. Like, do those people, maybe they're fans in a different way. And they're like, no, we're telling you, this is what's going to work. It's like, who do you believe, the star or the people who get paid to do creative,
Now, to look at it from a different approach, I saw an interview. I think it was Tarantino being interviewed by Howard Stern. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about like ad-libbing lines and stuff like that. And it's a little bit different because you're talking about an original property that he created. Mm-hmm. And his approach is, if I wrote dialogue, read my dialogue. Take the time, learn the lines. If it's really like solid gold, maybe I'll make you keep it.
Yeah.
But I write dialogue for a reason.
Yeah.
And you get a different approach with that, because again, this is a single original property that this man created and crafted. But then you have 50 years of Star Trek, or what are the Witcher books? There's like 12 or 13 of them. Mm-hmm. You get 13 Witcher books. I mean, who's right?
Yeah. Yeah. Huh? That's a fair point. Fair point. We'll finish up with the movie stuff, and then we'll go into some game stuff.
Yeah, so, I added some stuff on there for this week.
Yeah, so I figure I'll let you talk about that. That's more your wheelhouse than myself. The last bit of movie news, of course, something dear to the rambling nerd himself. Ghostbusters Part 4? Or is it Part 2? What are you even calling it? But
I mean, yeah, like where, because could it possibly be Part 5 if you count?
I was about to say
one?
that, yeah. All it takes is a cameo, and all of a sudden it's Part 5 now.
Yeah. They put the rubber cannon stamp on it. Exactly.
So it gets the title, Hell's Kitchen. We're going to have a different kind of devil in Hell's Kitchen, apparently. But I'm excited. I'm excited for a New York City Ghostbusters movie.
No, so am I. I just want my devil in Hell's Kitchen. That's all.
We want that too. That's a crossover we need. That's a crossover we need.
Could you imagine? Oh man, I'd read that comic.
Yeah. Rambling is saying that's Part 4. All right.
Yeah.
Fair. So last bit of movie crossing into video game news is a sad one, but we do want to shout out the legendary Lance Reddick. There you go. And he had just made our list of top blurs of excellence and gone too soon. I don't know the details, but your your favorite iteration, I think, is the Destiny games. Is that your favorite version of him?
Yeah, I like him in Destiny, and I like him in Bosch, which is
Mm,
a police show on Amazon.
gotcha.
But Destiny is definitely, I've spent an obscene amount of time in both Destinies, and it's said,
Yeah.
you know, you hear
And
that voiceover, you're calm, like so often. You're always stopping there to talk to him, and it's just like, oh,
yeah.
such a strong, such a strong character, so heartfelt. You really feel like it's Lance,
Yeah.
you know, like
And
Lance as this superhero type video game character, and
was
it's a
gonna say
damn shame, Vanguard.
similar to Henry Cavill, he was a fan of the content and would be in the game, like playing the game.
They actually, I read something that he was playing. Someone checked his account,
Yeah.
and he was live like 2 days before he died playing
Yeah.
Destiny.
Yeah.
So he was a pretty avid Destiny player when he had the time.
Mm-hmm. Wild. Yeah. R.I.P. to you, sir. You were a legend, and now like my TikTok algorithm is giving me lots of interviews with him,
Mhm.
and some of the shit that he went through. You know, again, being a black actor in Hollywood, it's a shame,
Yeah.
but those are those. It's people like him that paved the way for others. So, cheers to you, sir. So, going into video games, the one thing I was gonna just mention, we're talking about
Sure.
DC a lot today. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, delayed yet again. So, as the gamer amongst us, are you even relatively interested in this game anymore?
No, it's not even like on my radar. It actually never was.
Mm.
Once, actually, that's a lie. It was kind of on my radar until they botched Gotham Knights, the video game, the video game, not the TV show, not to
Okay,
be confused.
because there's a difference there.
Yeah. Why would you put out two properties in the same year with the same title? Because that's fucking reasonable, right?
Yeah,
Um, so the video game bomb, the Gotham Knights video game bombed pretty hard too, and I don't know. They should have just killed the Arkham series. This is like I think it's a loose extension.
hmm
Or at least it's the same people doing it, and they should have just deaded it and moved on.
yeah, yeah,
DC always hangs so hard to Batman when it
yeah,
comes to everything. Batman movies, Batman video games, Batman television. It's like you guys have like 90 years worth of roster.
yeah, yeah.
Get in there. Pick anything.
They
Literally
don't,
anything.
they don't know what to do. They just get to a point where they're just like, reboot Batman again, kill Martha again. Like, just do it. It's like,
Yeah.
really, no
What
other
what is
ideas.
it for like the last 40 years they default to Batman. When
Yeah,
they can't figure out something for Superman, they default to Batman.
yeah. No, it's wild. Actually, I want to see if I can find the. Let's see. I want to see if there's an image. They had Batman in. Oh, sorry, in the Gotham Knights TV show, and it
Oh
looked
no.
terrible. Let's see if you guys can see this. I think I'm blocking it. This was the
What
cowl.
what? Is Bruce Wayne homeless? Like what is that?
That's the cowl they went with for the TV show. It's like you guys you're fucking with us. Like
It
you
looks like the
have
the
to be
39. It looks like the 39 cowl with the gray suit and the purple gloves, like the
right,
original Batman cowl.
but like a bootleg of that.
Yeah.
like if you told me that Gotham Knights TV show about the son of Batman trying to solve the crime of Batman being murdered, it takes place in 1950s Gotham City, technology is not the best. Yeah, okay, sure. But you're telling me this is a present day / future, and that's the cowl that you opted for? I
Yeah.
got I got nothing.
Speechless.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing. Anyway, there were 2 bits of gaming news that you wanted to talk about, and
Yeah,
you can lead off wherever you like.
I could run through them real quick. There's not really too much. So this week, March 24th, Resident Evil 4, the remake comes out. Very exciting. Oh
Mm-hmm.
man, so exciting. If you're not familiar with Resident Evil 4, I think it came out 2002. Don't quote me. I'm bad with dates. But the game's like 20 years old. The remake is totally worth it. If you don't want to fork up the money on Thursday when it comes out, there's a free demo on most modern consoles. So go and check that out. Again, if it's going to burn like an hour of your time with the demo, totally worth it. I think they're saying the game's about 16 hours long. It has a lot of quality of life changes. Um, I'm picking it up. So
Yeah. Yeah. 2005 was your answer.
2005. Yeah, bad with dates.
No worries. And you
Um,
said there's another game that's going to take up all of everybody's time.
yes, there's another. So this weekend that just passed was the Diablo 4 pre-order. You can call it I don't know why they call it an open beta if you have to pre-order to get access to it. But the 17th through the 19th was the pre-order open beta, and this weekend is the true open beta. Um, Diablo 4 is a great game. Not a great game. Diablo's a great series. I'm a huge fan. Uh, Action RPG. It's a kind of like an isometric over-the-top camera. You're going out there, you're murking monsters and collecting gold.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the only thing with the open beta, I'm going to try to jump on it. Even I might even like live stream it a little bit. But if it's anything like the last one, their servers are not going to hold up. They had a hard time 10 years ago when Diablo 3 came out with an open beta. They had a hard time when Diablo 2 Resurrected came out, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, with their beta. I mean, I don't understand. You've sold like a billion copies of Diablo 3 in the last 10 years. You can't get your servers working for open beta. Like, people are going to crush it. People are going to come from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Get your servers up, man.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
anyway, if you're gonna dive back into hell this weekend, you could do it with me. Carpe Noctem 727 on PlayStation and on Twitch. So I'll be there.
That's one hell of a promo right there.
Yeah.
What's that game that you were saying? Was it Hades? The one that well, I
Oh,
said
Hades.
that
I
dude
love
was playing.
Hades.
Yeah.
Oh, Zachary Levy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hades is great, man.
Is that the same
I love it.
same gameplay?
It's the look is similar enough. Yeah. Diablo's just a little bit different, but there's hate man, Hades is what they call a roguelike, where the idea is to try to go as far as you can,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you die, you start over from the beginning.
That's crazy.
And the trick is to get better and then level up a little bit every time to let you go a little bit further and a little bit further until you like master it.
Mm-hmm.
Diablo's more storytelling and killing monsters.
Got it. Yeah, I remember when you were live streaming and you were explaining it to me, and I was like, you start from like the checkpoint. You're like, no, like you start over, and then you died at one point, and I was like, holy shit, he is starting all over again.
But there's something super addictive about it because everything else randomizes. All the levels
Mm.
randomize, the monsters randomize. Hades is a little different because you pick your weapon first,
Mm-hmm.
then you head out. But there's another game, Dead Cells, that I've been playing, and every time you restart, your weapon is random, so you
Mm-hmm.
don't even know what you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a
Interesting.
club that you're not good with, and you just got to run out there and make it.
Wow. All right. Well, link will be down below, everybody. Actually, I think it's down there already for Sal's Twitch. So make sure you head over there and give him a follow. I
Yeah.
miss the what do you call it? Like the raids and the hosting on Twitch. Like it used to be so easy, and then they dumped that, and it sucks because now I can't just
Yeah.
like I can't promote your stream on like our stream or like mix it up. It's annoying.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense because we're all together. Like it should be, you should be able to link mine to yours, yours to mine, and then
Yeah.
we're like a conglomerate.
Yeah. Yeah. But actually, before we wrap, the head or the CEO of Twitch stepped down, and I was surprised that. I'm just gonna pull that up just to make sure I'm not speaking out of turn here. Let's see. Oh, co-founder is stepping down as CEO, and
That's weird.
I was shocked that this was not bigger news. But at the same time, I
Well,
was like, maybe so many media outlets view Twitch as competition, so they didn't want to like give that promo. I don't know, but I was like, to me, that's big news because Twitch, I mean, in a heartbeat, Twitch could overtake YouTube. Like if they make some adjustments over there, they could easily overtake YouTube. And I was shocked that like something like that wasn't more widely talked about.
I think a small change they can make, because you can't have they'd hold on to your videos for that long. I think they only hold on to your videos for like a month,
Mm-hmm.
and then they wipe them. So once they let you make a database,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. I think they'll blow YouTube away.
Yeah. I think they also have a lower point of entry for monetization, I think. So like
Yeah.
if you go in hard on Twitch, I think you can monetize faster than on YouTube.
I know they're big on schedules.
Yes.
They're big on, even if you choose like Tuesday night at 9,
Mm-hmm.
but you're there every Tuesday night at 9,
Yeah.
they'll feed you into the algorithm
Yes.
easier than YouTube will.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that was one of the tips when I set up Twitch, where they were saying the same thing. They're like, yeah, like if you want to really help your channel grow or want us to help you grow, set a schedule, stick to it so people get familiar. And honestly, that's just a content creation tip and trick for everybody. Like if you're making content, one of the easiest ways to get people subscribed and looking out for your content is to put out content same time every week, whether it's once a week, twice a week, whatever it may be.
I think the difference with Twitch is the threshold for streaming time is higher. I think they want you to put in like 5 to 8 hours a week
That sounds right.
to further work the algorithm.
Yeah. That
So
sounds
let's
right.
get on a schedule and try to put 5 to 8 hours. Five to 8 hours is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. But, it's one of those where at least we know long form content isn't dead because of platforms like Twitch. Because on YouTube, it's all about short form now. But with Twitch, people want to be on the stream. They want to sit there. They want to read the chat. They want to hear the host call them out in the chat. All that fun stuff. So
Twitch is fun. I like it. I want to try to dedicate to it a little bit more, but I do like the way it's set up.
yeah, cool.
Even as a spectator.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Anything else you want to hit on before we wrap today?
No. Thank you for everybody's support. Thank you for having me on. I am back. So I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm alive. I'm good.
I'm glad that you texted me. I'm glad that your text made it through my do not disturb. Otherwise, I would have missed it. So
Yeah.
So the gods were in your favor today.
Yeah.
I love that. But yeah, we're happy to have you back, Sal. Everybody's happy to have you back. It's good times all around. So look out for his review on Dungeons and Dragons, and he'll be joining Anthony, I'm sure, for Ramble or 5 and all that.
Yeah.
And as a treat for all of you, we have new outro music for Nerdy Coffee. You guys requested it. You wanted that more jazzy feel, so we have that for all of you. But thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to like, to subscribe. If you're on the replay, comment. If you're live and not commenting, comment. Come on, join the conversation.
Yeah. Shame on you.
Shame on you, yeah. The water's fine. Come on in. Or Sal said, come to hell with us.
Yeah.
But if you really want to burn in hell with us, you're going to join the Nerd Foundation up above Sal there. Different tiers, different perks and benefits and all that fun stuff. Of course, nerdaffiliated.com for all your merch. You can see past episodes, links to the audio-only episodes. YouTube is now doing audio-only podcasts, so I'll probably start uploading some of the stuff there too.
Nice.
Like, comment, subscribe. I got to figure out what's a good out point with this new song. We'll figure it out at some point. But like, comment, subscribe, and we'll talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace.
Carpe Noctem. See you guys around.
I've been waiting for that.
I'm back, baby.